Was making news in America this morning.
That's right. Got to keep that spark going. Thanks for joining us.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source. Good morning, Providence.
Good morning. I'm Brooke Taylor. Thank you for joining us. We're taking a live look right now over our sky cam this Thursday morning. Supposed to be hopefully a nice, warm, beautiful day. Thank you for joining us here. Doreen and John are off, so I'll be joining you this Thursday, August 13th. Here are some of your top headlines tonight. Infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci is going to take part in a virtual town hall with the governor today. How you can be part of that conversation. And Block Island fed up with large crowds when the council voted to suspend entertainment licenses. Tim is here with your forecast. Tim, what's going on today? What can we expect this Thursday?
Yeah, Brooke, we're starting off with a few scattered showers crossing the region from west to east again this morning, just like 24 hours ago. Plus, we have warm and humid conditions out there for now. As we head into the day today, we will see eventual slow improvements in the way of lowering humidity. We'll have that in your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Brooke?
Tim, thank you. Turning now to our top story this hour, tension in Warwick with the governor and the school committee.
They threw in the towel before they even tried. And we are hearing from parents who are saying this isn't fair to my children. And you know what? They're right. It isn't fair.
And Governor Raimondo and the school committee not seeing eye to eye this morning. We do want to apologize. Some technical difficulties, so you're going to see me looking down a lot, but we're going to continue to bring you the latest news for you this morning. Committee members, though, are slamming after voters to have kids start school this year with distance learning. ABC 6 News reporter Ellie Romano has been following this closely and has more for us.
This time I'll make a motion to return to school via distance learning.
The Warwick School Committee voting 4-1 to return to full distance learning in September.
I could not be more disappointed in the vote that they took. They just threw in the towel on those kids. And I think the children of Warwick deserve better.
The district superintendent says they were leaning towards a hybrid model last week, but then found out they do not have the proper air circulation in all of their buildings to meet the safe quality of air standard the state recommends during the pandemic.
There was a discussion over how you could mitigate that by adding things like box fans in a doorway or a window, but that would be really predicated on having enough power.
Power, Thornton says the schools don't have enough of. The governor thinks it's an excuse.
So get to work and figure out a plan like everyone else is doing. Warwick is not at 100 cases per 100,000. They could go back.
The governor also blasting the district for not submitting a plan for a return to full in-person learning.
They didn't even give us a plan for in-person learning for the littlest children.
We asked all districts to plan for all eventualities.
We submitted full distance learning, we submitted limited and the hybrid model. We were actually commended on parts of our plan by RIDE. We didn't submit the full in person as we felt philosophically it was not something that we could accomplish safely.
Thornton says he will follow the school committee's vote unless the governor uses an executive order requiring students to return in person. The governor says she's considering this, but would rather work with the district to find a solution. In Warwick, Ellie Romano, ABC 6 News.
Ellie, thank you. Sticking with our schools now, the governor doubling down on her decision to reopen schools. Now, Governor Raimondo says schools will only open if it's safe to do so. State education officials will make the decision about in-person learning the week of August 31st. It was supposed to be the 16th, but the governor said they want to make sure they're using the latest information when deciding what to do.
We are not where we need to be. We're not as good as we were, and we're not as good as we could be if everyone followed the rules. Hospitalizations are creeping up. We still have days with 100 or more cases per day. Come on, we have to get kids back to school. Everything depends on the data, the prevalence of the disease in the state and in your community, and also, is your particular school ready? And also, is the state ready with testing?
And when it comes to distance learning, Governor Raimondo said she's going to have much more after. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back after this quick break.
ABC6 half-off deals are now on clearance. Visit abc6.com for details.
Jake Auchincloss knows a thing or two about courage. As a Marine, he stood up to enemies abroad. Now he's doing the same at home, earning an enthusiastic endorsement by the Boston Globe. In the City Council, the courage to support green projects, and in Congress, he will create green jobs, not letting Trump or anyone get in the way of combating climate change. Leadership and courage when it matters most. Jake Auchincloss, Congress. Experience Leadership Matters PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Summer. The one season that always leaves us wanting more. And you only have one chance to get it right. Here's yours. Summer On. Receive a credit of up to $3,000 plus 0.9% financing now through August 31st.
In neighborhoods all over our state, there are people who need help. People just like you who've been laid off, who've filed for unemployment. Family, friends, and neighbors who need health insurance. The people of Neighborhood Health Plan are here for you. Rhode Island has a special enrollment period to help you get coverage now. Call us today to see how we can help. It's why we're here. It's what we do for one another.
I was walking in the grocery store when my foot slipped on some water that was left on the floor, and bam! I hit the floor hard. I hit my head and sprained my wrist. There was no warning, no sign, just bam! So that's when I called attorney Tom Sparks. Tom handled my case, and bam! He got me $45,000.
Store fall, make the call. It starts with Sparks.
Call 1-800-SPARKS-LAW.
Bam!
Sail away on the Black Island Ferry. Take a trip back to carefree times. Leave today, Black Island awaits you. Just leave your troubles behind.
Your Black Island getaway starts as soon as you board. Enjoy the ride and some fresh ocean air on our traditional or high-speed ferries from Point Judith. Visit blackislandferry.com or call 866-783-7996 for more information.
Dr. Anthony Fauci expected to join Governor Gina Raimondo for her Facebook Live forum. We're going to get right to our ABC6 News reporter, Scott Cook, who joins us live outside of the State House. Scott, what can we expect?
Yeah, Brooke, so Dr. Fauci will be joining the governor today in her weekly Facebook Live forum. That's going to start at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and they're going to be discussing the potential of returning to school come the fall. Now, the governor has been holding these Facebook Live forums for a few months now to keep us Rhode Islanders updated on the coronavirus. Today's discussion, a timely one, as the state tries to figure out its plan for returning to school come the fall. Now, the conversation is set to focus on health impacts of in-person learning and the precautions schools should be taking to keep students and teachers as safe as possible. Now, parents with questions for Dr. Fauci can submit those questions to the governor's communications office, and Governor Raimondo says she will ask them. If you have a question for Dr. Fauci, you can go ahead and view this story on our website. That's abc6.com, and there will be a link to submit your questions. Reporting live in Providence this morning, Scott Cook, ABC6 News.
All right, Scott, thank you. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. We're taking a live look right now over our Skycam over downtown Providence. It is Thursday morning, and we're going to take a look at Tim Studebaker, who's live in the Weather Center. Tim, both of us were not used to being up this early.
I know. I've been here all week. It's your first morning this week here on Good Morning Providence. Great to have you joining us here, Brooke, and I hope you got a little bit of sleep last night. I know it's a tough turnaround sometimes on this schedule. We have a couple of light showers crossing from west to east across Rhode Island right now and on their way towards southeastern Massachusetts. If you were with us 24 hours ago, this is almost an exact repeat of this time yesterday morning when we had a line of light showers crossing the area. Looks like a little bit of a heavier downpour in western Kent County, just crossing the line from Connecticut. So you may see a few raindrops at times early this morning, a couple more showers possible as the day goes on, very similar to yesterday. Just like yesterday morning, too, it's a very warm start across the area. Lots of 70s, almost 80 degrees before sunrise in Providence right now. So a very warm start there. Dew points are elevated, but not as high as yesterday, at least north and west of Providence. South and east, it's still very humid at the moment, but we'll see slowly lowering humidity as the day goes on. Visibility is reduced, especially along the coast right now with some patchy fog. So today is warm, but the humidity will start to decrease slowly through the day. Isolated showers and storms. The rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a bit. Brooke?
Okay, thank you so much, Tim. Turning now back to our continuing coverage of the coronavirus. The number of infections in the U.S. almost at 5.2 million. The CDC now warning that if all Americans don't wear masks, well, it could get a lot worse. The President Trump now saying his administration is going to send out more than 125 million reusable masks to school districts across the country. It's all part of his continued push to reopen schools for in-person learning.
We will provide up to 125 million reusable masks to various school districts all around the country. My administration also stands ready to deploy CDC teams to support schools that are opening and schools that need help in safety and in order to safely reopen.
The White House also released 8 new recommendations for schools. One of those recommendations encouraging using masks but does not force you to. The recommendations aren't specific guidelines for schools to follow, more like basic prevention efforts. And with wearing face masks in public being the new normal, well, you might get some resistance from your kiddos. Coming up in a few minutes on Good Morning Providence, 5 ways that you can get your children to wear masks. And we are getting a look at communities in Massachusetts with the highest rates of coronavirus. Let's take a look. This colored map you see on your screen uses public health data to show the average daily case rate for the 351 cities and towns in the state over the last 2 weeks. The red areas represent the last 2 weeks, and white is the lowest. The communities are in red include Chelsea, Everett, Lynn, and Revere. Taunton is in the yellow, which means 4 to 8 cases were reported per 100,000, and New Bedford is green, which is less than 4 cases. Meanwhile, back here right in Rhode Island, health officials reporting 74 new cases on Wednesday. Those 74 new cases now bringing the state's total to 20,129. 2 more deaths are also being reported, the death toll now over 1,000. Well, crowds at Block Island, not anymore. All outdoor entertainment licenses have been suspended for now. The new Shoreham Town Council voted on the decision last night during a virtual meeting. Members came to the decision after discussing the ongoing problems of overcrowding at bars and overworked rescue crews on the island. Turning now to a check at the roads. Jim, what's happening right now?
Thank you, Brooke. We take a look at the traffic map this morning. This report brought to you by Neighborhood Health Plan of Rhode Island. Minor delays on the 610 connector inbound getting onto 95. A little slow on 95 north as you approach the state line in Mass. Southbound is clear right through the S-curves in Pawtucket. 295 is delay free between Route 44, Route 6, and Route 37. I'm Jim Stearns with the updated traffic.
All right. Thank you, Jim. It's time to take a look. Oh, nope, we're not. We're going right to, looks like we're going to Polar Park. Looks like they are doing, we're going to have much more on that coming up in just a little bit. And also coming up, we're going to have much more on a little puppy who was mauled by a coyote. We have that right after.
Download the ABC6 News app today. All of the day's breaking headlines, news, weather, and sports just a tap away in the palm of your hand. Be the first to know with ABC6 News push notifications. Available for iPhone and Android. Download the ABC6 News app today.
ABC6 Weather is brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health Beat the Heat campaign.
This summer, if you're working in the heat, keep yourself on the job and out of the ER by knowing the signs of heat exhaustion: heavy sweating, cool, moist skin while in the sun, dizziness, and muscle cramps are all signs you may be experiencing heat exhaustion. Beat the heat by taking breaks, seeking shade, and drinking more water. Remember, take breaks, seek shade, and drink water. This is a message from the Rhode Island Department of Health.
Record profits for insurance companies, stocks soaring, bailouts for the rich. Under Trump, thousands of Americans are dying and millions are losing their jobs. And where's Ed Markey been? Missing votes. He has the 9th worst attendance record, and just since May, during the pandemic, he missed more than 50% of the votes. He's put his political interests over ours. That's what happens after 44 years in Washington. Joe Kennedy, the change we can count on. New leadership PAC is responsible for the content